I'm still just shocked at that video that we just saw from Orlando, because we were talking about it. And I mean, Jameson had said that that is known as a flood prone area. And I don't know if Katie can actually hear us. Katie, I think we're seeing it right now, but we're sitting here and just wondering, is that an area that actually has had flood problems in the past, or did this just literally come out of left field with everything failing at the same time?
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a rescue right now.
Guys.
Oh, she's available to talk. Okay, Katie, go ahead.
Yeah, hey guys, right. As we were making our way back, there were people outside the house. And so they are literally, there's Jeff and his crew member. They just jumped out of the boat and they grabbed them. So you're watching this happen. I'm actually holding on to my photographer so he doesn't fall back. But to answer your question, Dennis, this is an area that has been known to flood before. Oh wow, here, you can see the National Guard is on site as well. It is adjacent to 3 retention ponds, guys. So it's a low-lying area, plus you've got the 3 retention ponds. And so that is basically, it all converges to create sort of this disaster area for fire rescue. Typically when there's a really bad hurricane. However, they have never seen water this high here. This is not normal. This is not typical. You're seeing, it looks like there's a man, there's a woman, there's a child, there. As we've talked about. The National Guard. We just saw them come in about an hour or so ago with their big trucks. All of this happening as we speak. And what was stunning, if you remember when I was talking to Jason, that look, I mean, not everybody wants to leave. Mm-hmm. And so these guys have been out here since 5 a.m. this morning, and they have visited homes where the person at the moment has said, nope, I'm good. And then they get the call that, nope, I need the help now. And so they have been back and forth out to this neighborhood, different sections of the neighborhood throughout the day. And one of the guys I spoke with earlier said, yeah, they think that they're going to be out here for the next day and a half. People who originally didn't want to leave and then realized, you know what, we can't take this. The water's, not quite receding or going out as fast. And so here we have another family in what has been, I've heard 150, I've heard a couple hundred. I can tell you some of the guys, it's been happening so often here, guys, that it's hard to keep count. And that's what I'm hearing, is that, look, we just go. We're not really thinking about the numbers, we just go. And right now, even with us, this was sort of supposed to be a little bit of a media ride, right? This was supposed to be just me and the guys kind of touring this area on boat to see what they've been dealing with throughout the day. And as we were doing just our thing, our little sort of media clip, here's a family that walks out of the house saying, we need the help. And what do? They just jump in. I said to Jason, he had the mic on. And I said, wait, let me get the mic. He said, oh my God, yes, get the mic off. He was ready to jump in. That's what they do. That's what these guys do. Certified swimmers, divers, this is a special team that is ready, willing, and able, and they jump to it when they have to. And this is the scene in Orlando, and it's striking. I mean, it's stunning. I've never seen anything like it.
Katie,
I've never seen anything like it, and I know we're hearing that a lot.
Katie, it's Dennis. I wanted to ask you a question. So what we're looking at right here, that has nothing to do with surge. And that's what I'm finding is absolutely unbelievable.
Right.
Because, normally when you see a storm surge come into an area, you will see pictures like this. I mean, I think a lot of folks look at this and they think Katrina.
There's somebody else.
Hey, Fern.
But have these men...
Look, Matt, if you want to pan around.
Wait,
hold on,
they're
guys.
doing another rescue right now,
Matt, turn around. See, so I don't know. Here's somebody else who has come out of the home. We don't know what the situation is. We don't know if this is somebody who's prepared to stay here or not, but here's the boat. We're making our way to this woman to see if she's ready to go. And it looks like she might be. It looks like she has, what does that look like, an ice chest?
Yeah.
And the question is she ready to go? we're just gonna watch this, guys. Yeah, she's got what looks like is an ice chest.
Need some help?
With probably the only belongings that she could carry with her.
You sure?
She says she's okay.
Where are you headed? Out? Okay. We can take you out the rest of the way if you need it. Are you good? Okay.
So Jason, she declined the help.
Yes.
And that's just happens, huh?
Yeah.
I guess they don't always want the help.
Yeah,
So
no.
this is somebody who's making their way out with some personal items you can see, and they don't want the help. They are declining the help. Jason just said, hey, we can give you a ride. And we were told no.
Katie, has Jason ever done rescues from storm surge? In other words, ones like Katrina, where the water comes in from the ocean or the Gulf? Because this is not storm surge. This is just fresh water. This is rainwater that just builds up. And I honestly can't say that I've ever seen anything like this. So I've seen it with a storm surge, but not with just flooding.
Yeah, I'm miking up Jason now. That's a great question. Our chief meteorologist, Dennis Phillips, Jason, is asking, have you guys ever done rescues where it's been the result of storm surge?
So back in 2017, they had an issue with the storm surge coming in off of the same kind of the deal, off of these retention ponds.
And how did that differ from what we're experiencing
It's just
now?
higher waters this time.
Higher waters. Wow. Higher waters, Dennis, than
Than it was in
what we're dealing with in this neighborhood. So this is a combination of retention ponds, low-lying area, and just a whole lot of rain, which has always been the issue. That has always been the main concern here in Central Florida with Ian, was this rainfall and flood. And it's obviously, they were expecting potentially historic conditions, and clearly that's what they're getting. We've seen it, we're obviously seeing it here. We've seen it in downtown Orlando. We were there earlier this morning where we saw some amazing flooding. This is actually, we're now starting to make our way out, and you can see the person that we saw walking, just choosing to walk the way out. And the question is, why did they wait so long, right guys? I know crews have been here throughout the day, right Jason? You've been here. So how many times have you been specifically in this neighborhood today?
So this is the third time we've come back since we've left. And we probably, the amount of circles we made around Ronnie and Hope Circle, I couldn't even tell you how many at this point. This gentleman here has been driving this boat and bringing them out all day.
I just want to make sure you guys heard that. Third time. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, yes. Third time, yeah.
They've been out here 3 times.
I think I'd also be concerned of what's in that water, right? I mean,
Not the cleanest water.
Yeah.
Well, manhole covers too have a tendency to pop off, and you could step in those, and that's when things can get really, really bad.
Anything and everything.
And if you have an open cut, that can be very dangerous.
That's why a boat would be great.
Yeah.
Right, which is exactly why, which is why fire rescue crews are out here. We've seen the sheriff's office also. We've seen, some of their posts that they've also been doing rescues. I mean, this is what today has been for these crews. It's just been rescue after rescue after rescue, and it's not stopping.
Katie, have they ever seen anything like this before?
No, not this high. They're used to doing fire rescues. They're specially trained for doing fire rescues, but they tell me that they're this high. They've never seen the damage. I mean, we saw water here. That's a first for these crews who know this neighborhood well, who know this low-lying area quite well. From here, they've been taking people who they do rescue and they go to a hurricane shelter. The question is, what happens after that? What are they coming home to? How long will this water take to recede? We understand that it's sort of a combination of pumping the water out and also letting it recede, but it's still pretty deep, and it's been a very long day for these rescue crews.
Wow.
Guys, I'm going to send it back to you. I know.
Again, Katie, thank you very much. I don't, when we think of flooding with a hurricane, I mean, a lot of folks, you think of Katrina, right? I mean, that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. And Katrina was almost entirely Gulf of Mexico water, because what happened is the storm pushed it into New Orleans, which is a bowl. It's below sea level, and that seawater got put in and had to be pumped out. So you would expect to see a surge impact areas like that, especially when the winds are blowing onshore and that water can't drain until the winds blow in the other direction. But this is a completely different situation, because that is nothing but rainwater, nothing at least in terms of the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico. So it's completely a matter of those pumps or eventually drainage into wherever that will eventually drain before clearing out. It isn't like a river. And the fact that you're talking about that rain fell in about a 6 to 8 hour period. So they literally had about 16 to 20 inches of rain in some spots in about a 6 to 8 hour period, and there was just no place for it to go. I mean, unbelievable video. And unfortunately, we're going to continue to see water rescues, and I'm even afraid to see what's going on around the Fort Myers area right now, down to the Naples area, because they had the wind and the water, as opposed to Orlando. I mean, yes, it was windy, but it wasn't damaging winds. It wasn't the kind of winds that bring structural damage. It's the kind of winds, we've been saying this for days, that trees will drop because the ground gets so saturated, and those big trees with those large roots just can't hold the weight of the tree because the ground gets so soft. So again, unbelievable live video coming out of the Orlando area.